3 psychological horror stories. Introduction. The mind breaks quietly. No screams, just whispers you can't unhear. I'm Riley Voss, 27, filming this on April 9th, 2025, in my Eugene, Oregon basement. Camera steady on a warped table, bulb, flickering like a dying pulse, shadows curling along the damp concrete walls. I stalk shelves by night, chase the dark by choice. These stories are about cracks in the head, slow fractures that let something in. Here are 3. Fresh, too real. Where sanity slips and what's left stares back. Picture this. A voice in the silence, a face in the mirror. Yours but not. Story 1. The Salem's fogged in. February 3rd, 2025. Nora Blake, 35, a librarian with a soft voice and a habit of overthinking, sits in her clapboard house, a sagging relic on the edge of town, its wooden bones groaning under years of rain, books piled high on every surface, windows rattling in the wind like loose teeth. Alone since her divorce last fall tore her life in half, left her with this quiet shell. She's fine, tells herself that. Days spent shelving novels at the county library, nights with tea and the hum of her own thoughts. A routine she's carved to keep the edges smooth, to keep the loneliness from biting too deep. Tonight, it starts. A hum, low, steady, threading through the walls, not the fridge buzzing in the kitchen, not the pipes clanking under the sink. A sound she can't pin down, buzzing in her ears, her teeth, her skull. A vibration that seeps into her like damp rot, faint but there, unshakable. She checks. House empty, light steady, the fog outside pressing thick against the glass. Lies back on her lumpy couch. Hum louder now, a rhythm taking shape, pulsing like a heartbeat. Hers but slower, off-kilter, wrong, keeping her awake, eyes burning as the clock ticks past midnight. Tea cold on the nightstand, untouched. By morning, it's in her. Hum follows, out the door, down the street, into the library stacks. Nora woven into it, soft, a whisper under the buzz. Not her voice, not anyone's she knows. Coworkers don't hear, tilt their heads when she asks. You hear that? Their smiles thin, polite, leaving her alone with it. The sound curling tighter. Nora clearer, a thread she can't cut. She's home. Days stretch into a gray blur. Hum grows. From the walls, the floor, her reflection in the kettle, lips shut but humming still. Shadow behind her in the glass. Tall, thin, not hers. Moving when she doesn't. A shape that lingers, edges blurring into the fog outside. Brushing her neck at night. Cold, humming too. A second pulse syncing with hers, slowing her breath, her thoughts, her fight. She fights, earplugs stuffed deep, music cranked loud. Nothing drowns it. Nora, piercing through, shadow closer. In her bedroom now, standing at the foot of her bed, eyes hers but blank. Watching from the dark, the corners, the windows, the mirrors, humming her name in a voice that's hers but isn't. A sound that fills. Her skull drowns her sleep, pulls her under. She cracks, week later. Neighbors hear her. Stop, screamed hoarse through the walls. Find her gone, house silent, kettle still on, books scattered across the floor like fallen leaves. Nora, scratched into the table. Deep, jagged, hum faint in the air, pulsing still. A rhythm they catch themselves humming days later. Soft, unthinking, shadows on their walls, eyes in their mirrors. Hers, calling them too, a whisper that spreads. She's out there, some say, Salem. Nights, fog thick. Nora in the wind, breaking minds one by one. A hum you don't shake, a shadow you don't outrun, a fracture that finds you when the quiet gets too loud. Story 2. The Extra Room. Ben's snow-dusted March 12, 2025. Evan Holt, 42, a carpenter with rough hands and a quiet stare, lives in his cabin. A pine box home he built himself on a ridge overlooking frozen pines. One bedroom with a sagging mattress, one bath with a chipped sink, a kitchen with a wood stove that spits smoke. Alone since his brother moved out years back, left him with the silence and the tools. He knows it. Every nail he drove, every board. He planed every knot in the wood he sanded smooth, a place he made to keep the world out, to keep his hands busy, his mind steady. Tonight, he sees it. A door, narrow, wooden, in the hall, where the wall should be flat and bare. No frame, no hinges, just there, swollen with damp like it's been wet for years. A faint light seeping under, a sickly yellow glow. A room he didn't build, doesn't remember, shouldn't exist. Its edges wrong, its presence heavy, pulling his gaze like a weight on his chest. He stares, breath fogging in the cold, touches it. Cold, real. The grain rough under his calloused fingers, pushes, creaks open slow. A room beyond. Small, bare plaster walls stained with damp, a single bulb swinging from a frayed cord, his tools scattered on the floor, his saw humming low, alone, air thick with sawdust and something sour, metallic, like old blood. He steps in. Floor creaks under his boots, tools shift, saw louder, Evan, whispering from it, his voice but flat, dead, bulb flickering, walls tighter, closing in, a shadow on them, his but taller, bent, moving when he stops, watching him with eyes he can't see. Evan again, from the saw, the walls, the air, a rasp that claws his ears, pulling him back night after night, door there each time, room waiting, tools alive, whispering plans he didn't draw, cuts he didn't make, build me, hissing. Low, shadow sharper, hands like his reaching, cold, rough, guiding his grip, pressing his fingers to the saw, the hammer, the nails. He fights, nails the door shut, hammer pounding, sweat freezing on his skin. Wakes to it open, boards gone, room bigger, walls pulsing like a lung, saw screaming, Evan louder, shadow in his cabin now, in his kitchen, his bed, his reflection in the stove's glass, eyes his but hollow, building something in the dark, something he can't see, can't stop, a shape growing behind the walls, thumping soft, alive. He's gone, week later. Neighbors find the cabin, door wide, room endless, stretching into black, tools scattered. Evan carved into every board, every beam, shadow on the walls, moving still, saw humming, a rhythm they dream of after. Doors in their homes, rooms they didn't build. Evan, whispering from the wood, hands guiding theirs, breaking them slow, one nail at a time. I'm pacing, camera trembling, shadows stretching long, because that room's been seen since. Bend outskirts, quiet houses. Evan, in the grain. A mind's fracture growing, claiming what it builds, waiting for you to find your door, to step inside. Story 3, The Other Voice. Eugene's Damp, April 1st, 2025. Clara Dunn, 30. A therapist with a calm smile and a notebook full of others' fears, sits in her downtown office. A narrow space with soft chairs, a dying plant in the corner, a desk, cluttered with pens and tissue boxes. Alone after her last client, 8 p.m. Rain streaking the window like tears. Replaying a session in her head, her voice steady, guiding a woman through panic. Words she's honed over years to mend, to hold. She's good, lives for it. But tonight, she hears it. Another voice. Hers, soft. Clara, from the corner. The plant. The air. Not a recording, not a memory. Alive, answering her thoughts. You're tired, when she sighs. You're alone, when she locks the door. A mirror of her she didn't call. a shadow in her words she didn't shape, threading through the quiet, overlapping her breath. You can't help them, in her tone but colder, sharper, cutting deeper, a blade she feels in her chest. She freezes, looks. Nothing, just rain. Her reflection in the glass, lips shut. But Clara, again, closer, from her throat, her chest, her mind. They don't need you, whispering as she drives home. Apartment small, dark, you're nothing, as she cooks, stirring soup with a trembling hand. Give up, as she sleeps. Dreams of clients staring, mouths shut, her voice speaking for them. Clara loud, shadow in her room, hers but taller, thinner, eyes hers, but blank, watching, talking when she doesn't. Night after night, clients hearing it too. Clara, in their sessions, her voice but not. You're weak, from their mouths, their eyes, breaking her slow shadow, closer, hands like hers brushing her face, cold, pulling her words, her will, her calm. She fights, stops talking, lips sealed. Voice stays. Clara, louder, from her silence, her reflection, her clients. You're mine. Rasping, shadow in her skin, her breath, her thoughts, taking her piece by piece, a thief she can't outrun, can't silence. She's gone. Week later. Office empty. Notebook torn. Pages scattered. Clara scratched across every line, every wall. Clients hearing her still. You're next, in their heads. Her voice, her shadow in there. Mirrors, breaking them quiet. One session at a time. Their words hers now, their fears hers. A chorus growing. I'm shouting, camera dropping, shadows lunging because it's here. Eugene nights. Clara in the silence, a mind's echo claiming more. And some nights, I hear it. Riley, in my head. My voice, not mine, answering my thoughts, waiting for me to speak, to break, to let it in.